Welcome to A Veil of Crime, where we explore true crime stories that shock, disturb, and force us to confront the darkest corners of human nature. Tonight, we turn to a case that began with a light-hearted television moment but ended in tragedy. A case where a joke foreshadowed a devastating crime. This is the story of Tim Bliefnick and the murder of his wife, Becky. In 2020, Tim Bliefnick appeared on a popular game show Family Feud as a contestant. During the show, he was asked what his biggest regret in life was. His response? Saying I do, a clear reference to marrying his wife. This drew awkward laughter from the audience and host Steve Harvey. At the time, it seemed like an uncomfortable joke, brushed off as humor for the cameras. But 3 years later, those words took on a chilling new meaning. By 2023, the marriage between Tim and his wife Rebecca, or Becky Bliefnick, had unraveled. The couple was separated and involved in divorce proceedings, with disputes over custody of their 3 children. Friends and family described Becky as a loving mother and dedicated nurse, while Tim's behavior grew increasingly erratic and troubling. Court records later revealed that Becky had even expressed fears for her safety. On February 23, 2023, Becky Bliefnick was found dead in her home in Quincy, Illinois. She had been shot 14 times. The brutal nature of the crime stunned the community. Suspicion fell quickly on Tim, given their contentious divorce and history of conflict. A search warrant executed at his residence uncovered incriminating evidence, including ballistic material and surveillance footage linking him to the crime. Prosecutors laid out a harrowing case. Tim Bliefnick had planned and carried out the murder of his estranged wife. His motive was rooted in anger, resentment, and control. The evidence, combined with testimony from family, friends, and experts, painted a damning portrait of a man willing to destroy his own family rather than lose control of it. In May 2023, after a high-profile trial, Tim Bliefnick was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The verdict brought some measure of justice to Becky's grieving family and friends, but it could not erase the horror of her final moments or the loss to her children. This case stands as a stark reminder of how domestic violence can escalate to unthinkable tragedy. What was once brushed off as a joke on national television now resonates as a haunting warning. Behind the veil of humor, real danger was lurking, and it culminated in one of the most shocking crimes of recent years. Becky Bliefnick's legacy, however, lives on. She is remembered as a kind-hearted nurse, a loving mother, and a woman whose life was stolen far too soon. Her story is now a rallying point for awareness about intimate partner violence and the importance of taking threats and red flags seriously. The case of Tim and Becky Bliefnick reminds us of the deadly consequences of domestic violence and the importance of listening to and protecting those at risk. As we peel back the veil, we remember Becky not for the way she died, but for the life that she lived, a life of compassion, love, and dedicated to her children. This has been another episode of A Veil of Crime. If you found this episode impactful, please like, share, and subscribe to A Veil of Crime. Together, we can ensure that the voices of victims are never forgotten.